Hello everyone, TAC1421 here. Welcome back to another fun and exciting episode of Pokemon TCG Online Tournament. We are going to be playing with a Haxorus deck this particular tournament. And Haxorus has always been a pretty interesting card, but it's never really seen that much play. And recently in Roaring Skies, when the Double Dragon energy came out, I decided I would try to make a Haxorus deck for myself. I haven't really seen a lot of people playing Haxorus, but I'll tell you, with Bronzong and Double Dragon Energy, it can get a lot of damage in a hurry, and it's actually a pretty solid deck for a kind of a non-EX deck. You are going to run 2 Keldeo, but we'll get into that in a second. So let's go ahead and go over Haxorus first. Haxorus is a Stage 2 Pokemon. We'll briefly look at the Basic and the Stage 1. We have Axu. We're going to play 4 of these. You're never really going to use this to attack. You occasionally might use Dragon Claw, but very, very rare. And we do not play any Iris in the deck, but its first attack is a very, very unique little attack. It's very specific. If it was draw any supporter, then it would be pretty decent, but you actually have to draw an Iris, and Iris is the supporter card where you do 10. It's a support card. You do 10 damage for each prize card your opponent's taken, I believe. It's something to do with prize cards, and you do 10 more damage for every prize card taken or you have left, something like that. But it's just not very good. It never sees any play. And then from Axu, we get our Fracture. Fracture, again, you're probably never really going to see this Pokemon used. You might see it, flip for 1 energy flip, and you might paralyze your opponent if you're in a kind of a bind. Maybe Dragon Claw for the knockout, who knows? But yes, Haxorus is our main go-to Pokemon in this deck. We're going to try to get Haxorus into play as quickly as we can. Now, this is a Pokemon from, I believe, Plasma Blast. I think that's Plasma Blast symbol. It's one of the Plasma different sets that came out, and it saw a little bit of play back in the day when TDK was a very popular deck, and some of the other Plasma decks out there. Mainly TDK was the most popular of all of them. Sometimes when Genesect was very popular, you can see this being used against Genesect as well, but it was mainly used kind of in a big basics deck with like Mewtwo, and Haxorus was kind of the Stage 2, and you'd use Strike of the Champion if the defending Pokemon is a Team Plasma Pokemon. It is knocked out. There's no exception there. It's just knocked out. And if the defending Pokemon is not Team Plasma, it just does nothing. So it's kind of crazy. You'd have this 170 HP Deoxys, or a Tornadus, Thundurus, not Tornadus, Thundurus. Some other Pokemon, I forget, Lugia was a common one, and of course Genesect. So there's a lot of different Pokemon out there that were Plasma type back, about a year ago or so, when all these Plasma Pokemon were very popular. So you can see why this was pretty good. But we're going to be using this particular Haxorus for the Dragon Axe attack. Does 40 damage times the amount of Steel energy attached to this Pokemon. So it might take a little while to power this thing up. Back when this was kind of a little bit of a rogue deck, you can see it with Milotic. We're not actually going to run this with Milotic. We're going to be using this deck with Bronzong. Bronzong, once during your turn, you may attach a Steel Energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. So that's pretty good. You can attach essentially up to 3 Steel Energy per turn to a benched Haxorus, and then you can be doing 120 damage just from attaching energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. We're going to be running our Keldeo here, so we can rush in and retreat. We're going to be running 2 of those. You can get away with running 1 and maybe up the switch account a little bit, but we're going to be running 2 Keldeo just in case one's prized, or if they knock one out early on. We run 3 float stones so we can rush in and retreat. You can also stick a float stone on like a Bronzong or something like that. We're not going to be running any muscle bands purely because of the 40 kind of base damage you have on here. If you can do 160, and then with a muscle band it might knock it out, but I felt like it would be better to get some more kind of support cards in there because we are running 18 Pokemon, so we want to have some more trainer draw in the deck. But what also makes this deck so good is the addition of Double Dragon Energy. This card can be attached to Dragon Pokemon. This card provides every type of energy, but provides only 2 energy at a time. And you can only attach it to Dragon type Pokemon. So what this does, if you attach it to a Haxorus, it actually can provide 2 Steel type energy, which means you're all of a sudden doing 80 damage just from attaching 1 energy. So you can attach a double Dragon energy. You can attach some Steel energy from your discard pile using Bronzong, and you can see how the damage adds up very quickly. If you have 5 energy attached to there, 5 Steel energy, you can have 3 Steel and a double Dragon. You can be doing 200 damage with a Haxorus, which is pretty good. Also, which is kind of funny, is the double Dragon energy also allows you to use Strike of the Champion with just 1 single energy drop. So if you happen to play against a Plasma deck, it's not very common nowadays, but you still see it occasionally. You can actually, with a single double Dragon energy, you can use Strike of the Champion for knockout against Plasma Pokemon. So that's pretty unique there. So that is pretty much the core deck right there. Our A-Spec is going to be Computer Search. Just allows us to draw more cards. We have 4 Rare Candy. We are running a 4-2-4 line of Haxorus. 1 Switch. You can run more Switch if you're only running 1 Keldeo, but I like to run 2. We have 3 Trainer Mail, 3 Ultra Ball, so we can search for Pokemon. 4 Versus Seeker, 1 Lysandre. I always like to run a lot of Versus Seeker and have the 1 Lysandre up there. 3 N, 1 Professor Birch, and we have 4 Juniper, 1 Skyla, 1 Teammates, the 3 Floatstone, 4 Double Dragon, and then 8 Steel Energy. That is the deck in a nutshell. It's a pretty good deck, pretty fun deck. It's not like top tier or anything, but it can hit for a lot of damage in a hurry. You kind of be surprised for how much damage it can do. The goal is to try to get as many Haxorus set up as you possibly can. Spread around the energy if you can, as best you can, and start hitting for a lot of damage with the Dragon Axe. So let's go ahead and get into the first round of the tournament, shall we? Alright, so round number 1 is about to start. We are playing against Evil Shoot, who is playing a deck with a lot of different types, including dragons, so we might have to watch out for that. And I like my Garchomp sleeves I have. It's very fitting for this type of deck, a dragon type deck. So we start with 3 Axu, which is kind of cool. Never really usually start with 3 of them. It's kind of interesting. But we are going to put all 3 into play. We are going first here. And I top deck an N, which is very useful because we do not have a supporter. The nice thing about Axu is it's also a dragon Pokemon, and you might think that's a little obvious, obviously, the dragon chain. But the only other time I've played with the double dragon energy, I was playing a Noivern deck, and Noibat is a normal Pokemon in the game, so you cannot attach a double dragon energy to Noivern. You have to actually evolve into, or you can't attach the double dragon energy to Noibat. You have to evolve first, so that can be a little bit annoying. But with the Axu, you can go ahead and put the double dragon energy directly on him, which is kind of nice. So with this deck, you can also play Sacred Ash if you need to get back a lot of Pokemon. You are doing a lot of discarding. You have 3 Ultra Ball, a high Juniper count, and lots of Versus Seeker. So you can definitely make the argument for discarding those, or having Sacred Ash somewhere in the deck. We're going to attach to the benched Axu just in case we don't get a rare candy into the Haxorus, but we unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, we do get that, which is very nice. We also get a Fracture, so we can evolve into another Haxorus next turn. 80 is good enough to get the first knockout of the game, and we have the Versus Seeker there, so we can get another Juniper next turn. So things are looking very good, and I do get a rare candy from my first prize, so I have to decide, do I want to use the rare candy Haxorus, or do I want to just straight evolve from the Fracture into Haxorus? And I think that the best play is probably to use the rare candy Haxorus, because we can always get another Haxorus. We have another Haxorus somewhere in our deck. We did have to discard 1, but we play 4 of them, so there's 1 left in our deck somewhere, so we might as well just kind of wait on that. My opponent is going to play, I think, Call for Family or something like that. Very, very common card in a lot lot of different Pokemon. Not really sure what they're playing. It's kind of weird. They're playing a lot of different things going on here, and that's what a lot of new players do. My recommendation for new players out there is to try to build a deck with not that many Pokemon and try to focus on one solid, Pokemon chain, so you're not playing a whole lot of them. My opponent actually is forced to put down the Shaman. I'm not really sure what happened there, but we are going to probably Versus Seeker for a Juniper, and then Juniper away. We do manage to get ourselves a Bronzong, which is great. We can attach a Steel Energy this turn, and we can also Metal Links. We have 2 Steel Energy in our discard pile, so we can kind of get that going. I'm going to attach it to the Haxorus. So now we have 3 energy on our active Haxorus, and we can use a Dragon Axe for the knockout. My opponent only has 1 card in their hand, and they're going to be drawing 1 more card here. So it's not looking very good for my opponent. I am getting things set up pretty easily now. I have a lot going. We can start getting a lot of damage off in a hurry. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. I might go ahead and Skyla for like an Ultra Ball or something. I can also just Juniper away my entire hand. But I think the Ultra Ball is probably the best play at this point, just to get the Keldeo into play. So I'm going to look at all my cards just to make sure there is a Keldeo in play. And I also want to see how many Pokemon I have. So I am actually going to go for the computer search, and I might actually just go ahead and get the double Dragon Energy from my deck, because I know there's one in there. And that way we can actually get the knockout. We're going to be doing 200 damage. We'll might as well Metal Link onto the benched Haxorus, get that thing going. And even if we die here, we have teammates, and we can get another a few other Pokemon. We can go ahead and put another Bronzong on our bench, get a Keldeo into play, and then we'll have another Haxorus ready to go. So my opponent is going to play a Salamence, which is a pretty good card. I think it has a very high retreat costs and energy costs, but there are things nowadays such as double Dragon Energy where you can get that going pretty quickly. It also has 3 attacks, which is really cool as well. Now this thing is not weak to Dragon, it's actually weak to Fairy. I'm going to go ahead and attach another energy here to one of my Haxorus on the bench, and then we might actually Juniper. We might not actually attach. By Junipering, we can get another energy in the discard pile, and what I should do is I should play the Floatstone onto the Bronzong or one of my Pokemon first before, because it's just going to go in the discard pile anyways. So we're going to go ahead Juniper here. We get another Bronzong into play. I can go ahead and attach a metal energy to my Haxorus. I can Metal Link onto the other Haxorus, so now we have 2 Haxorus with 3 energy each on there, and we're looking pretty solid at this point. I can go ahead and get the Ultra Ball if I want to, or I can just go ahead and get a Versus Seeker, so we can get like a Lysandre for next turn. And there is the 200 damage coming off, and we have 1 prize left to take. My opponent has no energy on the field. I have 2 Haxorus on the bench with 3 energy each, and then an active Haxorus with a total of 5 energy, hitting for 200 damage strong. So looking very, very good at this point. There's not really much my opponent can do. So they put the Shaman into the active, and the energy retrieval at this point is not going to help them. So they're going to probably pass, and I'm going to get the final knockout of the game, and that's going to be round 1. And just for kicks and giggles, I'm going to hit for 400 damage onto that. I don't know what that was. It was a white Kyrium, I think. And then we go ahead and get a prize from the Wheel of Fortune. And I also knocked out 12 Pokemon using Dragon, so I got an extra pack there, which is kind of cool. And I'll probably end up opening that later in another round at the very end sometime. But we hit for a magical 1,000 damage, which is kind of cool. Biggest attack was 400. We flipped no coins in the game, so that's good. We did not leave anything up to chance. We didn't flip a coin at all. And I got 3 extra tournament tickets. So that is round 1. I hope you enjoyed the deck. I hope you liked the video. I hope you liked round 1, and you can look in the descriptions for round 2 and 3 if they're up, and I will see everyone next time. Peace.